We had to stop early last night, early yesterday because we were so cold. Wind and the rain, it rained all day.
We were jackhammering in camp. We're
jackhammering right now.
Yeah, we are.
Warning passes out.
Thank you, thank you.
We have made it to the 100-mile wilderness adventure. This area here is what Phil refers to as Philville. This is his property. He built this whole little community single-handedly. It's absolutely beautiful. All right, so this is our cabin here. We are in the Joe Mary cabin. Upper bunk, lower bunk, electricity. Our food made it up here, so we got our food. Carl, what do you think so far?
Love it.
This is going to be awesome.
I love this place.
All right, so this is a bunkhouse in the middle. We are in the Joe Mary cabin here on the left, and this is called Nesta Bunkhouse. I don't know how you say that. This is actually a bunkhouse for 4. Here is another bunkhouse. This is the Nesso Wadded Bunk. This one sleeps 6. So this is another little cabin called A-Ball. All right, this is another cabin called Fourth Mount. This would be the 4th cabin called Pamola. And this is the kitchen. It's got a grill out front we can use. It's got a refrigerator. We got a microwave, a toaster oven. Drinks are free. Coffee bar for Carl. All right, so this building here is the lounge. So you can get food or just come in here and relax.
Well, that was an idea, right? That's the reason why we didn't want to do anything like Dr. Rush back there.
It's got a nice picnic table, nice library, hiker box. This is food. If you need it, take it. If you don't need it, leave it. All right, and this is Phil's office that he works out of. He works out of here. He sells fuel. You have your packages shipped here. And then he's got a little sleeping area here when he decides to stay over. This is the shower house. I was unaware that there was a shower house here, so that's going to be nice. At least we won't have to go 12 days without a shower, just 10. All right, this building here is called the Party Pooper. You got a toilet on the left and the right and a urinal in the middle. And the urinal comes with a view. You can stand here and take care of business and look out into the expanse of the woods at the same time. So this particular building Phil calls the stool shed. It's kind of a toilet and a museum at the same time. There's the toilet. These are all old tools. All right, here we are in downtown Monson. It doesn't even have a stoplight. It's that small. This is the view from the other side. All right, so we're going to try out some Maine barbecue. This is Spring Creek Barbecue Cookhouse.
With my doctor to get my flu shot in a couple weeks, and I'll get weighed, so I got to 3 cups until I get the flu shot. I lose what I gained in December when I went to my flu shot.
So you guys been home last week and just on the way back out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we came home on Tuesday, and then
Got us some Maine barbecue. Barbecue pork, coleslaw, and beans. Carl, what do you got?
I've got corn chowder from Maine, beans, and a big barbecue sandwich.
All right, let's try it and see how it is.
And crackers for the cracker.
Here in Monson, one of the most famous AT hiker hostels is Shaw's. So this is Shaw's Hiker Hostel. We're gonna come here for breakfast in the morning. So Carl and I are riding bikes in the rain up to Shaw's Hiker Hostel for breakfast. Here's Poet, slaving away on the grill.
Hey man, how you doing?
Good, how ourselves.
Good.
Al, you want some ketchup?
North Carolina.
Sure.
Chapel Hill, Durham.
Thank you.
We're getting water. And then we had him. Okay. All right.
These are all hiker packages sent up here to Shaw's, waiting for the hikers to arrive. Lakeshore House. Dinner before they hit the trail tomorrow morning. Is this our last supper?
This is not our last supper. We're going to eat many suppers after this.
Let's hope so. All right, it is time for the official pack weigh-in. Carl, what do you got?
Heavy.
What does it say? 42? 41.7.
Ouch. All right, let's check out Al's weight on his pack. What do we got?
27.3. Good morning from the Old Man Hiking Club. This is Alan Carl's big adventure up here in the 100-mile wilderness of Maine. We are still here. We've been here for the last 2 days in the 100-mile wilderness adventures, commonly referred to as Philville. We've had an outstanding weekend. So, Carl, what do you think so far?
Well, I want to thank Phil Pepin, who is the owner and our AT liaison, for making our first trip to Maine an excellent experience. This was a custom-made place for us because it was peaceful and quiet, and you could tell he's put a lot of work into this place. But we had a small cabin to stay in that was comfortable. He's got buildings for everything, the lounge, the privy,
Kitchen,
everything, and he's got his own office. So thank you, Phil, for a wonderful experience in Maine for the very beginning of our trip.
Yeah, Monson is a really cool little town. We went out and got some good dinner last night.
We sure did. We biked in the rain for breakfast at Shaw's, and that was very good.
Yeah.
Poet, you are an incredibly good cook. And we got to go to the Lakeshore House
For dinner.
That was excellent too. Had a ribeye.
Had ribeye. I had pork pot roast, so that was really good. We were back here finishing our packing last night, and we were in bed at 8 o'clock.
Yes,
Which is
we're getting on schedule.
Getting on schedule.
Hiker midnight. That's
in
right.
bed by 8 and up by 6, on trail by 7. So we were just a little after 7.
We were in mutual stalls this morning, though, getting rid of that ribeye and pot roast.
All right, so a little bit about today's hike. We're going to do 10.1 miles. And according to my map here, we got about 1,900 foot elevation gain. It's not going to be that difficult of a hike, not today. And tomorrow's going to be more difficult, and for the next 3 days it'll be more difficult. What we've heard is we've got 3 stream crossings in the first 3 miles.
And some rain coming our way for the next few days, too.
Yeah, so we got a little break today. We're hoping, I see a little blue sky up above, so maybe we can get a break today. I think they're only calling for a 40% chance of rain, but if it rains, it's going to be a cold rain.
Well, it rained all day yesterday. So
All day.
We were biking in the rain twice, but we had good food, and we're getting ready to go on the trail. This is my last cup of coffee till we get to Katahdin.
Oh, we had our last shower last night. We won't get another shower for 10 days.
We are going to stink.
It'll be good. Carl has a very heavy pack.
Almost 42 pounds.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Apparently he didn't learn anything these last 6 months of training.
I went a little crazy with the food.
Yeah.
Okay, just a little.
Mine was 27, so that's a little disappointing for me. I was hoping to be 25, 26. But it is what it is. So let's get our gear on. Let's get hiking.
Let's head, brother. Hike on. Goodbye, Philville.
This is a view of Hebron Lake, which is right in Monson. We believe this to be a moose track. It is way too big for a deer track. We've made it to Highway 15, Maine number 15. 3 miles in so far. Carl, how do you feel?
Oh, this is a beautiful day. We have no cold rain beating us down.
No.
We can see sky,
Yeah.
and the woods are beautiful through here.
So we are at the entrance of the 100-mile wilderness. So we are here at Highway 15, getting ready to jump back on to AT. Our proposed campsite for tonight is Little Wilson Falls, so we got 6.6 miles to get there. We may decide to go longer, but we got a few hundred yards and we enter the 100-mile wilderness. All right, so 3 miles in, going down to look at a falls called Goodell Brook Falls. I slipped, and landed up against a rock and scraped the daylights out of my arm. Not a good start, but I'm not bothered. Hike on. All right, we have made it to the beginning of the 100-mile wilderness. Carl, what's that sign say?
It says Appalachian Trail, caution. There are no places to obtain supplies or get help until Aball Bridge, 100 miles north. Do not attempt this section unless you have a minimum of 10-day supplies and are fully equipped. This is the longest wilderness section of the entire AT, and its difficulty should not be underestimated. Good hiking, Maine Appalachian Trail Club.
So, are you a little nervous?
No, I was nervous before we got on the trail because we were talking to other hikers and they were telling us scary stories. But it feels good today. We're not being rained on. It's a very beautiful section of forest, and I'm excited.
All right, I'm still a little nervous, but the fear mongering got to me yesterday, so I'll get over it. Let's hike on.
Hike on.
All right, Carl's got us registered. From the last day of rain, trail is very muddy and very wet. There's almost no way we're going to keep our feet dry. So we are here at Bell Pond. Up in Maine, they don't call their lakes lakes. They call them ponds. Check out this moss just hanging on this tree. So, mile 7, I slid down this rock, stuck my hiking pole out there to try to stop myself. Snapped it.
I thought it was a bone.
Sounded like a bone. So now I've got one left. I can get through the wilderness with one, but it's going to be much, much harder, especially with those river crossings. 4 miles into the 100-mile wilderness, and the terrain has changed and gotten much more difficult. Rocks are super slippery. It's like ice.
I see a lot of potential boo-boos on this trail.
Yeah. Small crossing. But these rocks are so slippery. Lehman Brook Lean-To. We're just doing a 20-minute stop. This is our first sign of fall. It's 54 degrees today. It's not raining, so it's great. But we're starting to run into some colors. We're not going to be in full bloom, but we're going to get to see some color while we're out here. We are here at North Pond. About 7 miles into today's hike. This looks like snow on the ground, but Carl thinks it's some sort of a lichen.
Or moss.
Or moss.
It just says
we just did a nice little climb here, and we have hit the alpine line. We're all in these conifer trees. You can smell the pine. We have our first river crossing, or a river ford. This is
these rocks are given now.
all right, Little Wilson Creek. Put your poles down. We have made it to camp. We actually stopped. I think it was about 3:30. We felt like we could have gone a little longer, but it was started raining, and it was another 4.5 miles to another potential campsite. We just weren't sure how to deal with the rain and that. So we're going to stop here, probably call it an early night, because with this cloud cover and canopy that we're under, tree canopy we're under, it'll probably be dark by 7 o'clock. So we're gonna cook dinner and probably going to bed right after that. Oh, Carl, what you eating?
I got sweet and sour chicken with extra chicken in it. Very good. Just the fact that it's hot is delicious.
So I've got Mountain House chicken and rice, which is very good as well. The rain seems to have stopped a little bit, so I don't know, we'll probably still be in bed early, but finish eating, hang a bear bag, and probably climb in our tents. All right, and this we're calling the end of day one. Day one in the 100-mile wilderness was hard for our easiest day. Carl fell twice. I fell once.
Hard.
Broke my hiking pole. Scraped my arm on a rock. Drew blood. And that was for 11 miles.
And it was a very muddy trail.
Yeah.
Very rocky and rooty. The rock here is slate.
And slippery as it can be.
It's slick as ice. It's unbelievable. So here's my synopsis of the trail on the first day, okay? It's got roots for your boots, rocks for your socks, mud with your blood, slate for your hate, and rain for your pain.
There you go. Kind of sums it up. We've had rain now for the last, what, 2-3 hours?
And it's getting colder.
It's getting colder, so we're gonna jump in our tents and try to get warm. Or he'll jump in his tent, I'll jump in my hammock.
That's a disclaimer, by the way. Lisa Hansen.
So we have no idea what the weather's going to be like tomorrow. We're just going to wake up and hike. I mean, it doesn't matter what the weather is. There is no way out of the wilderness. So we're going to get up and go.
Yep.
You ready?
Wet or dry. Yeah, this was not as bad as I imagined it to be, but it is definitely a challenge.
Yeah. This is a very hard hike for sure. I don't think anything compares to this that we've trained on so far, with the exception of Linville Gorge.
Right.
Was equally as difficult.
Yes, that was one of the hikes that we did that was more realistic to this.
Yeah, and we haven't even hit the hard part yet.
I think the Baton Death March would have been another good one, but we're a little too young for that.
Yeah. So we're gonna hit the sack, and we'll probably get about 12 hours of rest tonight.
We need it.
And we'll get up and do it all again in the morning. Good night.
Good night. We're smiling, but we ain't happy.
We're smiling and profiling. Good morning, day 2, Tuesday, September 20th. Welcome to sunny Maine.
Yeah, real sunny. I woke up to about 2 gallons of water at the foot of my tent because I was on the incline. Evidently, I slid down on my mattress pad and poked the mesh outside of the rain cover, and in the course of the night, and it rained like crazy last night, but it filled up the base of my tent with water. So I've got a soaking wet down bag, and I had to bail water out of my tent like it was a canoe. So good morning.
Yeah, I stayed dry, I stayed warm, but everything is wet. And we have probably about 2 more pounds that we're carrying just for all the wet water on our tents and rain flies. And
but we had a nice cold breakfast.
we had a cold breakfast. We did have 10 hours of rest.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. That helps with your attitude.
Yeah, we're trying to maintain a positive attitude. So we've got, gosh, 3,000 foot, 2,000 foot elevation gain at the end of the day. 12.2 miles to go. I'll put the elevation chart up in the corner here. I have no idea what the weather's supposed to be like today, if it's going to rain all day.
But Al did find a really nice campsite, and the canopy overhead kind of kept the rain off of us, because we'd have been out in the open, we'd have been drowned right now because it came down so hard. But we were right next to Little Wilson Creek.
Little Wilson Creek.
So that was a really nice place to sleep overnight. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, we've had 14 hours of rain straight. I mean, we were in our tents last night at what, 5:30?
Yeah, and I could hear the sound of water all night long
And
as I turned over in my bag.
so we're gonna get hiking. I don't know how much we're gonna film today with this rain. We'll do what we can, but all right, let's get hiking.
We will record different points of hypothermia though. Okay.
We'll see you. About a quarter of a mile away from camp. Nice little waterfall. It's about the last thing I care to see right now. I don't want to see any more water, but it is pretty. We have a nice little look out here, even in the rain. Colors are just starting to change, but maybe by the end of our 2 weeks, we'll be in full bloom. The Appalachian Trail is the only trail that's a trail and a stream at the same time. There's a lot of signs of moose. We haven't seen one yet, but here's some moose poop. This is like a mossy wonderland. I believe we're going to have to cross this river at some point in time. It's a little concerning. Making my way across Big Wilson Stream. It's almost crotch deep. All the rain we've had. It's probably a little higher than normal. All right, what was your impression of that crossing?
Well, the boulders at the bottom were very slick. The twins were cold. It wasn't as swift as I thought it would be. I remember Ms. Wendy at the Maine ATC telling us to face towards the current and to shuffle sideways, and that's exactly what I was doing while I was holding on to the rope. But it was pretty deep.
Yeah. We are completely out of our comfort zone on this one.
Yeah, it's cold. That water is cold.
This is now our trail. It is one giant rock pile. Super slow, hard to navigate. Yeah, this is hard. Carl and I just crossed this river. Not here though. Crust right there. Pretty sketchy. So our shoes are nice and clean. We were about 20 feet away from these falls. One wrong slip, and it'd have been all over. All right, we just crossed over this water crossing. This was really sketchy. What was the name of this place? Sagundi Creek, the falls.
Or Slugundy.
Slugundy. We're in
That water's swift.
just about butthole deep water. It is 100 miles to Mt Katahdin. So, the Maine wilderness is no joke.
No.
Carl just had his first crash of the day.
Yep. That was rocks that cut me.
And that's not looking too good.
Not feeling too good either.
We are making our ascent up Barren Mountain. It is a 2,000-foot ascent. And while this video clip here does not show the steepness of it, I'm just panning up. And we got nothing but rock slabs, wet, slippery rock slabs to climb up.
Whee!
This is what we're climbing up. You can see 2 white blazes on 2 trees up there. And this is where we're headed. Hiking pole number 2. Carbon fiber just doesn't cut it on these mountains. You're gonna have to go with aluminum. I had a thru hiker give me this one at a shelter, said it was just at a shelter, so at least I got one. This has been a rough day. We're about halfway up Barren Mountain. We have reached an area called the Barren Slide.
Show him the slide, Al.
Here's the slide.
Just hold your hand out.
So this particular view is called Barren Ledges. Similar to the Barren Slide, just a slightly different perspective. We've made it to the top of Barren Mountain. Here's the fire tower. This was hard all the way to the top. We have no views at all. We're all socked in with the clouds. We got a mile to get down to camp, so we're getting out of here and get to camp. Good morning. This is Wednesday, September 21st. It is 7:22. Yesterday was a rough day. It's just like we're like rookies on the trail. Left my water bladder at the first campsite. It rained for the first 4 hours yesterday. Broke
yep.
another hiking pole, so both my hiking poles are now busted. Carbon fiber just does not hold up
to the rocks.
To the rocks in Maine.
No.
Carl fell and busted his knee and busted his hip.
Yeah, kneecaps don't hold up to the rocks in Maine either. I'm in a knee brace this morning because it was a hard hit.
So I don't know. We got 12.2 miles to go today. This is our resupply day.
Yeah, we're 4/10 of a mile off the trail, going back down the mountain to a lean-to called Cloud Lake Shelter, next to, I guess it's Cloud Lake.
Cloud Lake, yeah.
But we got a steep hike just to get back on the trail, waterlogged like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, we're cold, we're wet. It's pretty miserable conditions right now.
We're ready to tap dance.
Spirits are marginal right now.
Well, I had a hot breakfast. We got in so late. I appreciate Al really driving us until it was dark. But by the time we got to this place, I didn't even have enough energy to cook my meal. So
yeah, we got here when it was dark. I mean, it was 7 o'clock, and we were setting up in the dark.
So I got the blood off of me and crawled into my sleeping bag, my wet sleeping bag.
Yeah.
Very cold last night. I was waking up shivering, but I had a hot meal this morning, so that kind of lifted my spirits up.
All right, so we're going to see what we can get done today.
13 miles.
Hike on. We have made it back to the trail. That was a 0.4 mile spur trail from the shelter back to the AT.
We made good time.
Yeah. So we got 11 miles to Katahdin Ironworks Road. That's where we're going to resupply. But on today's hike, we're going to be taking on the Chairback range. We've heard it's pretty tough. I guess we're getting ready to find out. One of the cool things about this particular range is on the 4th mountain. We actually start with Chairback 4th mountain. There's a plane crash. So we should be able to see that. And that's kind of, I guess that's going to be the highlight of the day. All right, let's go. Hike on.
Hike on.
These are our trail conditions. We've been in mud up to our calves in places. We've reached the 4th mountain bog, which means we're going through this marshy area on these puncheons. And we will be climbing 4th mountain here in a second, and we should be coming up on a plane crash somewhere, so we'll be excited to look out for that. Here's something we haven't seen in 4 days. We got the sun trying to poke out through the clouds. It'd be super nice if that would happen. I'm trying to show the perspective of the angle of the hike. My camera's level, and the mountain's going up at about a 45-degree angle, if not more. We have discovered the plane crash. This happened in the early 80s, I believe. And they said it was a father and son who were flying, crashed on the mountain and survived. They camped overnight up here and then hiked out, or were rescued. So this is the first sunny day we've had on the trail. What you see in front of you right here is Barren Mountain. We stayed up there last night, and we're getting our butts handed to us. We're getting our butts kicked. This is just unbelievably hard. So we got a nice little rock scramble going all the way up there. What do you think?
Surprisingly, Al, I think this is an easier day than yesterday, and this day's hard, but yesterday was brutal.
This is a view from the top of 3rd Chairback Mountain. Just finished going up 3rd Chairback Mountain on our way down, and we got some rock puncheons. This is our 4th mountain summit of the day. We just summited Chairback, and I think this is the last mountain of the Chairback range. We got 3 miles to go to get to camp. These descents are very sketchy. It's even harder with wet rocks, wet slippery rocks.
Wow.
Does that make the butt cheeks pucker?
Brother, with each step, I'm just envisioning trips to the ER by helicopter. Whew. You have to be here to experience how steep some of these descents are.
And we're only halfway down. Yep. This is a continuation of the same downhill I just filmed. Carl was only halfway. This is the rest of it.
Jeez. Brother. Crazy. You have to calculate every step like a chess move to make sure you don't knock your teeth out on these rocks. This is a challenge. We don't have terrain like this in North Carolina. We just don't.
Yeah. So Carl waits all the way to the bottom to crash and burn. This he did a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
There, that's a
That's
nice
a pretty one. That's pretty.
And this, just now coming down that
Yeah.
big steep
Did you see the hand cart I did?
The cartwheel?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
It was very nice.
You gonna be all right?
It just bruised my ego.
Okay. Came down here to get water at East Chairback Pond. Turned out to be a nice day. First nice day we've had in 4 days. Nice and clear.
Huh?
Nice and clear.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. This is the end of day 3. This is Wednesday the 20th. We had a hard day.
21st.
21st, right. Had a pretty good day today.
Better than yesterday.
Better than yesterday. In fact, yesterday was so bad we didn't even do an end of night thing because Carl just went straight to bed. He didn't even make dinner.
I was too tired. I just crawled in my sleeping bag.
But more injuries today. Carl now has 2 shattered knees, 1 skinned shin, 2 busted hips.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
You should have seen him doing a somersault off this vertical incline. It was not good.
No, it wasn't pretty, but I'll tell you this. We're using our backs to go up against a wall or a rock and making sure that we land on our back. And cats always land on their feet. So in your face, cats.
So we're here at a little stealth site off of an unimproved road. In fact, we're standing right in front of an outhouse.
We're at a turlet, as they say in Maine.
We actually ate our dinner on the floor of the outhouse. So we're going to go to bed. We're going to get up early tomorrow, a little earlier tomorrow, so we can get a little earlier start. These 12-hour, 12-mile days are just awful. I mean, it's just so hard.
But today was not as bad as yesterday.
Not as bad.
And this was the shining moment of glory, was that sunlight coming through, and we were laying down on a cold rock with the sun beating down on us for about 20 minutes, like reptiles from North Carolina. So that felt great.
Yeah, so last night we got to camp in the dark. Tonight we got to camp just as the sun was going down.
But the northbound people are using up all the campsites off the trail. We had to hike, what, half a mile?
Half a mile to
and
find
just
a place
find woods. We're just out in the woods at a kiosk.
So we're going to go to bed.
So shh, don't tell anybody.
Good night, everybody. Good morning from sunny Maine. Oh, it's raining again. 4th out of 5 days. 4 out of 5 days it's rained.
Yeah.
My pack is probably carrying a pound or two of water just for it being so saturated. Everything's wet. Gear's wet. Packs are wet. We're wet.
But we got very, very lucky last night to have found a campsite with a privy next to it. So it was a home away from home.
It's just like home. So we got a hard day today. I'll put the elevation up in the screen. 13 miles if we make it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going over 4 mountains.
With a full pack.
With a full pack.
Because we had resupply yesterday and our packs are killing us.
Yeah, so they're super heavy today.
But we went about, what, half a mile down the road?
Yeah.
From the Appalachian Trail, found a parking lot that was a trail access for some feature,
It's public access.
Mm-hmm. So we just went in the woods, found a spot, had a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
Had a good breakfast. We're ready to roll.
And it started raining about 5 o'clock this morning. I think it's supposed to rain all day today, so suck it up.
Buttercup.
Let's hit the trail.
All right, let's do.
All right, we have our first river crossing of the day. This is a pretty wide river, but pretty shallow. It should be about calf deep. You ready to roll? Carl's going for it. This is gonna wash the mud off my shoes and make our feet not smell so bad. I've had wet feet for 4 straight days. We have 83.9 miles to get to the top of Katahdin. We're in the Trail of Tears. Trail has turned into a stream. All right, this is the end of day 4. Kind of a crappy day. Rained all day today.
My goodness, it was cold and it beat us so hard.
Yeah, so we ended up having to cut the day short. We only went 8 miles.
Yeah, we stopped at a shelter to eat. It was loaded with northbounders, and we
All right, this is Friday the 23rd, day 5.
yeah.
We had to stop early yesterday because we were so cold. Wind and the rain, it rained all day.
We were jackhammering in camp. We're
jackhammering right now.
Yeah, we are.
I mean, the temperature has dropped, the wind is blowing, the wind chill is down below freezing.
It was like cars going by us last night, and that was just the wind going through the trees. And Al said the trees he was attached to were just rocking back and forth in his hammock.
Yeah, so we are giving serious consideration to bailing out. It'll
depend on shelter.
Yeah. How's it going?
How's it going?
There's a good chance we're getting off the trail because
there's so many northbound people, and there's no campsites, and there's no shelter room available, because we saw that yesterday.
Yeah, and the conditions, the weather conditions are dangerous. So I don't want to be a statistic, so we need to get smart and think this through. All right, let's hit the trail so we can warm up.
All right, hike on.
Hike on. We made it to the top of Hay Mountain. The previous mountain was West Peak Mountain. We have one more mountain to get to today, and then it's downhill. You're not jackhammering anymore. How do you
No,
feel?
I got some warm blood flowing from breakfast, and we had a wind advisory pop up on your phone,
Yeah.
which we could tell there's wind.
Yeah.
We don't need to be advised of that, but wind's pretty stout. We came through some blowdowns where just the sheer wind pushed the trees over at a 45-degree angle, and that was amazing to see, because it looked like something was hit with a nuclear missile or something. So last night was probably the worst night we've had on the trail.
Yep.
And this morning was very, very cold, but getting some move on. I think we see a glimmer of hope ahead.
We're looking forward to it. We're looking for any glimmer of hope we can get our hands on.
Even if it's just downhill.
All right, we've made it to the top of White Top Mountain. Highest peak in the 100-mile wilderness. Super cold.
Super windy.
Super windy. We are up still on White Cap Mountain in the fog. It is bitterly cold, but we decided we're going to stay on trail. We got a couple days that they're not forecasting rain, so we're going to just try to struggle through that and see how far we get. Let's hike on. We're at a lookout just coming off of White Cap Mountain, and in just a couple days the colors are starting to change. Had a rough night's sleep last night. It was a hard day yesterday. There's so much rain and we were soaked to the bones. We stopped early, set up camp, and just went straight into our sleeping bags so we could warm up. We were near hypothermic, but hoped to get a good night's sleep, and it was a bad night's sleep. This wind gust came in and pretty much kept me up all night. And I just kept laying there thinking that we're going to freeze to death and become a casualty of the trail. So had a little panic this morning. Thought about quitting. But then I remembered, you know, you're not supposed to quit on a bad day. So Carl and I reassessed and decided to stay on the trail. And I'm glad right now. The day turned out to be pretty nice. Cold, very gusty, but manageable. At least it's not raining. So looking at the weather ahead, it looks like we got a couple days of fairly decent weather where they're not calling for rain. So hopefully we can make up some miles, because we are about 10 miles behind schedule. So hoping for better tomorrow. Came around the corner and saw this dog sitting here, and for a second I thought it was real. Maine colors starting to show themselves. Very interesting how the forest changes from section to section. Now we're in a really mossy section. It's just gorgeous. Looks like a green carpet. So here's a old privy on the trail. It's boarded up. Half moon in the door. Then we'll go take a look at the newer one. Now this is a newer privy. Let's take a look inside.
Hey, can a girl have some privacy in here?
Sorry, Bob.
Get out of here.
This is the Pleasant River Lean-To. The significance of this shelter is that it is at the 50-mile mark of the 100-mile wilderness. We've got 50 miles down, 50 miles to go.
feel that.
It's pretty sketchy.
It's trying to knock you over.
It is.
Dang almighty. That may be the hardest river crossing we've had so far. That was pretty swift.
We have made it to camp. We are camping at Mountain View Pond, mile 51.8 of the 100-mile wilderness. We're taking this opportunity, there's a nice wind coming off the pond, to dry out everything that's wet. And there's a lot. We've literally emptied our pack and just hung everything out to dry. A little windy tonight, but no rain tomorrow, no rain tonight, no rain tomorrow, no rain on Sunday. Looking forward to it. This is the end of day 5, which started out horribly.
Boy, did it.
Yeah, and I was considering seriously about leaving the trail. We even contacted Phil, and they were going to arrange to pick us up. We had to change a heart up one of the mountains. And,
well, really coming down the mountain.
Yeah.
Because getting up on Whitecap.
Well, it wasn't Whitecap, it was the mountain before that.
Hay
Mountain. Where I kind of changed my attitude. You know, one of the things about hiking is there's an old saying that you never quit on a bad day. So we had a terrible day yesterday, a terrible night's sleep last night, and that kind of transitioned into this morning where I just had serious doubts about continuing. But I'm glad we did, because it turned out to be a nice day, a little windy, but nice hiking weather.
and a good campsite.
And a decent campsite. So we're gonna hit the sack here in just a few minutes, put our gear away so it doesn't blow away.
But we are out of the harsh mountains of the 100-mile wilderness, and that was a test.
Yeah.
My
so
goodness.
the first 50 was just brutal. It was brutal.
I agree.
We could
totally agree.
Could only average 10-mile days.
I hope we have a good day tomorrow.
Yeah, so
Was that a lightning strike?
I don't know what that was. Something went crazy with the GoPro, but yeah, we were only averaging 10-mile days, and we did 11 today. So, but we got to do bigger miles tomorrow. So let's get some good rest and get ready to get hiking in the morning.
Oh, one note. Our fuel can didn't work,
Oh,
so
yeah.
we had cold supper.
Yeah, so no hot water today. No. Yeah, so that's just another thing to make us miserable.
Just want people to know.
Yeah. See everybody in the morning. All right, good morning. This is Saturday, September
24th.
I don't even know.
24th.
So is it the 24th? Okay.
Yeah,
Day
24th.
6.
Thanks. Yeah, 24th.
Had another rough night's sleep. Wind was just blowing like crazy. Hard to get sleep when your tent flaps are flapping and the wind is blowing and the trees are knocking.
Plus, we didn't have a big meal. We normally have a big meal when we come into camp. And
Made it to Little Boardman Mountain. First big climb of the day. The rest of it's all downhill. All right, hanging on a sign with some trail mail. What does it say, Carl?
it says, Alan, Carl, David and I will be at the shelter in 3.4 miles, Justin.
Nice. We have to get to a shelter. It's 3 miles ahead, and
Right.
hopefully we meet up with Justin and David.
That'll be so
That
fun.
is super exciting. You know it's windy when you got whitecaps on a lake. All right, look who we ran into. Justin and David at Cooper Brook Lean-To. Been trying to catch up with these guys for several days now. They've hiked the whole AT up till New Hampshire and then flipped up here to hit Katahdin and then go back and finish New Hampshire. So we're going to get the hike together for the next few days. I've really enjoyed the little note you left me. It gave me some energy to get here. On day 6, the trail is much flatter and much easier to hike. So it's pretty cruisy today. And then plus meeting up with Justin and David has kind of give us a little kick of energy. We made it to our second resupply at Joe Mary Road. Phil, our outfitter, has a little setup here where he's got a box with a combination lock on it, and he gave us a special map to try to find this box in the woods. And he had our food waiting for us here.
Yeah, see here, your food.
Yeah.
Please leave your trash in a plastic bag and inside the box. Soda and snacks, help yourself, and thank you for being my guest. And community food, take what you
Nice.
need, leave what you don't.
So this was awesome. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you so much, Phil. This was great.
We're here at Joe Mary Road for our resupply. Nice little river. And these are northbound hikers waiting for their resupply from Shaw's. Phil hid ours in the woods, so we've got ours, but all these people are waiting for their resupply from Shaw's. This will be like our 8th river crossing. We have had wet feet for 6 straight days. Today turned out to be an absolutely beautiful day. This is our reward for 5 days of rain and misery, and it's all worth it. I would have been so upset if I'd have gone home yesterday and missed out on this. Never quit on a bad day. So this is called the Sand Beach. You can camp out here. We're not going to. We're going to go to a shelter. But just thought we'd stop for a look. We absolutely crushed mileage today. My watch says 19.53 miles to get to this shelter, which is down in those woods. Patiwajo Lean-To. Got to get set up, eat some dinner, hang out. All right, good evening. We are here at, where are we at?
Patiwajo Lean-To.
Lean-To.
Patiwajo Spring, thank you.
And we're here with several people. We got
Chernobyl,
Chernobyl, and Care Bear
from Germany,
and
Kevin.
Kevin, who we were with in 100 Mile Wilderness, Philville. He started at Katahdin, he's going south. We started Monson, we're going north. But good day today. Mileage-wise, we actually knocked out 17.25 miles, so that was great.
I like your mileage better by your watch.
Yeah, my watch said 19.5, so 19.5, 17.25. But anyways, it was a great day today. Weather was perfect.
Beautiful views.
Beautiful views. Hiking weather was awesome. So we're going to get a night's sleep and get up and do it again in the morning. Weather is supposed to be even more spectacular tomorrow, which we need desperately after 5 days of rain.
Yep. And we're having trouble with our fuel can right off the bat.
So we'll see everybody in the morning.
Good night.
It's going to be a beautiful day for a hike. Ran across a sign on the trail that said this was our first view of Katahdin. 30, maybe 40 miles to go to get there. Good morning from sunny Maine, and this time it is truly sunny. This is going to be one of the most beautiful hiking days we've had in the last 7 days. This is Sunday, September 25th. How do you feel today?
I was beat up yesterday because we had a long day. We went 17.2 miles from your Far Out app, and Al had 19.5 miles on his watch. So we had a very, very long day, but we got to see Justin and David.
Yep.
Met up with them, and we had our first view of Katahdin this morning on the trail. That is a beautiful mountain.
Yeah, almost a little intimidating, but we're about 40 miles away from Katahdin. We're going to try to get 18.2 miles done today. I'll put the elevation in the screen here for the day, but man, this should be the best hiking day we've had all week.
And a really nice section of trail where it's not, I mean, we have some difficulty with roots and rocks, but really nice where we can make some miles.
Yeah, it's nice and it's a lot flat. Those first 4 or 5 days were just brutal, but now it's kind of flattened out a little bit. It's gotten a little bit easier, so a little bit better hiking conditions for us.
Yeah, I like this section.
Yeah, so far.
It's not as painful.
All right, we're trying to get to Rainbow Springs Lean-To. Let's see if we make it.
Okay.
Hike on.
Hike on. Yay!
I've seen this in so many through hiking videos. I had forgotten that this was in Maine. For some reason I thought it was in New Hampshire, but this is the easiest climb we'll do all day, do all week. Just right off the trail on this road, we ran into some trail magic. We had pancakes, bacon, coffee, orange juice. Carl's in heaven. He's got his first coffee in 7 days.
I got coffee. Roger and his kids, Millie and Carter, were so nice to provide this for the people hiking through. Had really good chocolate chip pancakes and bacon, but this coffee is to die for. It's so good.
Well, thank you guys for that magic. We do appreciate it. Got a bunch of new hikers showing up. This is Bagheera.
Boom.
Boom.
Water glider.
Water glider.
Oh my god.
Found a little sandy beach. Starting to see some Maine colors. Not a lot of filming today. The trail today, although much flatter than the first 5 days, is equally as difficult. Just the rocks, the roots. We ain't going but 1.25 miles an hour again. And we're getting ready to make an ascent up the hill here. Kind of running out of gas. We are beat up, tired. I don't know what else to say.
Exhausted.
Exhausted. What the trail has looked like all day. There's nothing we could do to prepare for this. We have summited Nasuntabunt Mountain, elevation 1560, which is really discouraging because for as long as it took for us to get up here, it should be more like 8,000 feet. It took over an hour to make the climb. Rough day. There's a lookout from the top of Nasuntabunt Mountain, and off in the distance is Katahdin.
So this is the end of day 7. I'm recording this from the inside of my hammock. We've gone to bed and kind of forgot to do a end of day video. But I'm extremely disappointed to come to the realization that we're going to have to come off the trail. I had to call a shuttle driver, and he's going to pick us up tomorrow at 9 a.m. This trail is no joke, but I can't control the weather. And the 7 days that we were out here, it's rained 5 of them. And wearing wet clothes while hiking tends to result in chafing. So of all the different scenarios that I thought could take us out on the trail, chafing is not one of them. But it was 3 days ago. It rained so hard that we were soaked to the bone. I mean, every stitch of clothing on us was wet, and we kept hiking until we could find a campsite. And we set up camp and took shelter about 2 o'clock in the afternoon because it was raining. It was raining so hard that we were near hypothermic. We were just shaking and could barely get our tents set up. But I guess that hiking in wet underwear started the chafing process, and it's just gotten so bad I can't hardly walk. We were supposed to do 18 miles today and only made it 12. And based on our schedule and stuff, I don't even know if we'd have made it to Katahdin. We're still 40 miles away. But I can't take the pain anymore. Plus I got an infected toe. So I guess walking in wet shoes and mud for 7 days has infected one of my toes because it's just beet red and hurts like dickens. So between my toe injury and my chafing, I'm the one that's bailing out. Carl's still ready to go. But the pain of the chafing is just getting too bad. I can't hardly stand it. So this is going to end our hike. Might get a few minutes in the morning as we jump in the car and take off. But yeah, this pretty much sucks. I mean, I've been planning this for 2 years, training since January. And of all the scenarios that could have taken me out with broken bones or busted head on a rock or something like that, you know, chafing is not one that I would have thought taking me out. So we'll report again in the morning. Good night. Good morning. This is Monday, September 26th, day 8 of our hike.
What a whirlwind overnight.
Yeah. Big change of plans. Last night I was crying about my chafing. Put some antibiotic cream on. Woke up this morning.
Well, it was absolutely bad.
Yeah.
It was, normally when you think about chafing, you just think of a cherry pink abrasion. This was purple and burgundy, and
Yeah.
it was absolutely horrible, with thin sliced deli meat hanging off the inside of each thigh.
That's
So
about it.
he looked like a $2 hooker out after $1.98 at your local cat house. So.
But put some triple ointment antibiotic cream on there last night, and I woke up this morning feeling pretty good. So reapplied some more ointment, canceled the shuttle. We're going to continue on with the hike.
It's a miracle.
It really is, because I don't think I could have hiked much more like that. So we have...
But he's got 2 Exxon Valdez oil spills on
Yeah.
either side of his pants.
I won't even show you my pants.
It's not even PG-13.
I've got so much lube on my thighs, and it's rubbed off on my pants. It looks like an oil
Hey,
spill.
I'm going to be awkward hiking next to you.
Yeah,
There's a story in that, and we're not telling it.
it's not pretty.
This is so good, though. I'm elated because we're going to keep on keeping on,
Yeah.
and I'm really looking forward to this day. But we got a big day.
We got a big day. We need to get at least 15 in today, and then 15 more into Baxter tomorrow. And with any luck, hopefully summit on Wednesday. So let's get hiking.
Yeah, and we busted down camp quick too.
Yeah.
It only took 7 days to learn.
Yeah,
how
we
to
may
do it.
actually be out on time for the first
for
time.
the schedule. That's everything.
For the first time in 8 days, we're going to get out of here at 7 o'clock. So let's get hiking.
Feel good. Hike on.
Hike on. All right, so it's another day of rain. This is day 8, so this is going to make 6 of 8 days in the rain. It's kind of foggy, misty, light rain, nothing hard, but it's actually, I'm just thrilled to be on the trail considering I almost left. Stopped to filter a little water. And while we stopped, the sun came out. 25 miles to Katahdin. All right, Carl just crashed and burned. Number 7, 7th
Ouchie.
time. He's bleeding from everywhere. Elbows, knees, shins.
But not down there.
So 0.1 miles away from the shelter, I had my 4th fall. Slipped on a rock, busted my knee, got a
Nice.
huge knot on the shin,
Yep. Let's see your head. Take that hat off.
and busted my head.
Oh, yeah. The little kiss from the rock. I used to kiss you there.
Great way to end the day.
Oh my gosh.
Good morning. This is Tuesday, September 27th. We've got Justin, David, and Carl, and myself, Al, ready to exit the 100-mile wilderness. This will conclude 100 miles in Maine, which is probably the toughest 100 miles I've ever done. What do you think?
Absolutely.
I mean, there's
I've never done 100 miles.
yeah, there's no describing the difficulty of this trail. But this is our last day in the 100 mile, and we're headed into Baxter, where we plan to summit Katahdin tomorrow. So we're super excited. We're going to get A-Ball Bridge. Carl needs some more coffee.
Absolutely.
Justin needs some more munchies.
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 Snacks.
David, what do you
Snacks.
need?
Beer. Next you.
At 9 o'clock in the morning.
I respect that, Dave.
We're like at mile 99.2, so we got 0.8 to get out of the 100-mile wilderness, and then
Amazing.
2 or 3 miles to get to A-Ball Bridge, and then 9 miles to get to Katahdin.
These guys are so trail hardened. I gotta point out that they can chew up the trail like you've never seen, and that's the northbounders we've seen. They just slice through the woods like it's nothing because they have trail legs, and Al and I are just hobbling and wobbling. But Al took a hard fall we could see the shelter. It was right before we got to the shelter, and he just busted himself up on a rock so bad, knocked his phone into the water. I mean, that was unbelievable.
So we didn't make an ending day video yesterday because, of course, it started raining as we got to camp and had to get camp set up, eat, and we were in bed by 7:30, I think. So let's hit the trail.
All right.
Yeah.
Hike on.
Yee!
And here we are at the end of the 100-mile wilderness. This is the northern terminus
Yay!
of the 100-mile wilderness.
We did it.
That was 9 days, actually 8.25 days.
Right.
100 miles, 100 tough miles.
So tough. It was the longest hike we've ever done together. It was the most challenging hike I've ever done. And I think it was more difficult on the first half.
Yeah.
Definitely saw a difference in the trail on the second half. But and I had a great night's sleep last night because I was exhausted. And Al was beat up this morning so badly.
Yeah, we're going home when this is all over, bruised and battered for sure. Take us several weeks to recover from this. Here's the sign. So that's what southbound hikers see when they enter the 100-mile wilderness, which is the same sign that we saw when we entered on the southern end of the 100-mile wilderness. So we got a mile or two to A-Ball Bridge, 9 miles into Baxter, and then we climb Katahdin tomorrow.
Yep. And Justin and David are still with us. They have made our days shorter just by having good company and good conversation with them. And I can't believe we were able to meet up with them. But they're coming to very close to Katahdin.
Yep.
And then they got a few more miles they got to finish up in New Hampshire.
Yeah, they skipped up so they could
Meet us
and hike with us and then get to Katahdin before it closed. And then they got to flip back down in New Hampshire and finish up 80 miles in New Hampshire. So they're at the very near end of their hike as well.
Yep, less than 100 miles.
Yeah, it's been great seeing them, great hiking with them, great boost of energy when we saw their little trail.
We're going to adopt them.
So let's get to A-Ball Bridge.
Okay, let's go. Hike on, brother.
Hike on.
Woo!
We have exited the 100-mile wilderness. We are now on the Golden Road. We are here on the Golden Road. This is the bridge that crosses the Penobscot River. And this is Katahdin. We look to summit tomorrow morning. This is the A-Ball Bridge camp store. We're gonna go in and get some real food.
What's your name?
Get some sandwiches, drinks, a little resupply if you need it. This is going to taste so much better than trail food. I've got a chicken salad sandwich, a Snickers bar, Pepsi, and some Pringles, salt and vinegar. I really wanted a Coke, but they didn't have it. Must have been a Pepsi store. Justin's got some roast beef sandwich, bear claw. David has sandwich and something else. Gonna sit down at the picnic table and have a little snack before we walk into Baxter. Clouds cleared out. Now we got a clear view of Katahdin. Got some beautiful Maine tree colors right in front of us. We've made it to the entrance of Baxter State Park. This is the kiosk where hikers come in to sign up for the Birches campsite. We were not staying at the Birches campsite. We were staying at Katahdin Stream. So we've got a weather report here. Information here for hikers. And we're currently filling out registration cards for ourselves, but then the sign-up sheet, only 12 people can stay at Birches, and the sign-up sheet currently has 5. So there's room for 7 more people. Hiking into Baxter now, we get to parallel the Penobscot River for a while. We've been hiking the AT in Baxter State Park for several miles now. We have 4.8 miles left to get to our campsite. We'll have to register with the ranger station, claim our campsite, set up camp, eat dinner, get a good night's rest for the morning summit of Katahdin. It's been kind of nice trail in Baxter. We've been hiking alongside the Penobscot River. It just makes for nice, serene mood as you're hiking. Should get there in maybe a couple hours. Another rock hop to get across the river. We've been lucky so far today and been able to keep our feet dry. This is called Big Niagara Falls. It's amazing to me, these trees that are able to grow on top of a rock. This is Grassy Pond, And right behind Grassy Pond is Mt Katahdin.
Hello.
We are 0.1 miles away from our campsite and 5.3 miles away from the finish of our hike. We've made it into Baxter State Park. We are in Katahdin Stream Campground, site number 16. We got Carl, David, Justin, and David's friend Jonah. It's going to hike up with us tomorrow. We'll be getting up around 5 and heading out about 6. Should be epic. This is the Hunt Trail. This is the trail that we'll be taking up and down from Mt Katahdin. Good morning. It is Wednesday, September 28th.
Yep.
And it's summit day. We're getting ready. We're up at 5, getting ready to start heading up the trail by 6. 4 hours maybe to the top of Katahdin. Hang out for a while, turn around and come back down. Is everybody excited?
I'm very excited, and you could see just the first light of the morning.
So we got Justin on the left, Carl behind me,
Mm-hmm.
David on my right, and then David's friend Jonah,
Jonah Blank.
who flew in from Colorado to climb Katahdin with David. So that's awesome. Great to have you, Jonah.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And let's get hiking.
All right.
Yay.
Hiker registration.
Yeah, it's just for the party.
The party, okay. Hiking up the Hunt Trail. 5.2 miles to the summit. They say it could take at least 4 hours to get up there. We have a 4,200 foot ascent. This is the pinnacle of the hike, but it's also going to kick our donkey pretty good.
You are entering Maine's largest wilderness. Your safety is your responsibility. Set a turnaround time and stick to it. Your destination is your safe return to the trailhead. Rescuers can be many hours in arriving.
Ooh.
That's what you're making me think it was live.
All right, we got the first mile done. It was pretty, I don't know, they say it's supposed to be pretty easy, but we worked up a pretty good sweat. Next 2 miles, we'll be doing a lot of rock scrambling and bouldering. That's where it really slows down. This is Katahdin Stream Falls. All right, so the so-called easy part of the hike is over. We now have rock scramble for several miles, I think. Good luck to us. This is the current state of the trail. It is slow going. Two miles in, 3 miles to go. We continue our ascent. We're a little over halfway, and it's getting harder and harder. We are now just climbing above tree line. What do you think, Bubba?
Pan that camera up there. That's just amazing. That's just absolutely amazing.
We are now officially above tree line. We're in the clouds. How's the pucker factor?
It's real. It is real and it is high. This is incredible.
Following the white blazes all the way up. We're getting ready to ascend into the mist. Yes. It's crazy to look at, but we still have more to go up.
Never forget this day. Never.
I'm trying to hold the camera horizontal, and if you look at the angle of the mountain, that's how steep it was coming up here. And we just caught the beginning of the color change in Maine. We're closer to the top than we are at the bottom. Keep following the way it blazes. So, we just finished that ascent. That took us 45 minutes to get up here. We're now in the tablelands. It's a little flatter, a little easier to navigate, hopefully. Pretty cold, pretty windy, but maybe we can catch our breath. Maybe. So we have to stay in the tablelands here between these ropes so we don't damage any vegetation. So that between the rope lines is our trail. A little easier hiking on the tablelands. I don't think it'll stay this way for long, but we'll take the breather when we can get it. Here is Thoreau Spring. It's the last water source, but we've been recommended not to drink out of it. A lot rockier now. We have one more summit, less than a mile to the top. We are within 1/10 of a mile of the summit. A few more blazes and we'll be there shortly. If you look closely, you can see the sign. We're within about 30 yards. The fog is thick. Pilgrimage is almost complete. Everybody here is finished. Well, Justin and David have 80 miles left, but how do you guys feel? Awesome. We're proud of you guys.
Thank you.
You all did a great job. Jonah, how do you feel?
Spent more time on planes and hiking, so I'm feeling good.
He's good. Bubba?
Everything after this is just going home.
Going downhill.
This was an excellent challenge for us.
Going down is a lot harder than going up. Gravity wants to pull you face down. So this is our descent. It is very sketchy. That's where we got to get to, and then we go down. Still making our descent. Very slow, very, very slow. Going up that and coming down that was about the sketchiest thing I've ever done. Pucker factor was a 10. Fall number 8, coming down Katahdin.
But Justin saved me.
He did. He threw his body down so you'd have a cushion.
My hero.
All right, it is 3:05 on Wednesday, 28th. Took us 5 hours to get to the top of Katahdin. 4 hours to get back.
And that was a long, really challenging day that wrung about everything we had out of us.
Yeah, that was the scariest, sketchiest, most dangerous, butt pucker factor 10
Coming down especially.
coming down.
Because it rained and those rocks were slick as could be.
Yeah, going up and coming down. I mean, that was just, we're whooped. Got our butts kicked today, bad, but feeling pretty satisfied.
Al, I feel like this is the best thing I've ever done in backpacking in my life, and it was a true challenge. It was hard enough going through the 100-mile wilderness, but to have the ascent to Katahdin after that, good night. That really demanded every bit of energy that we could possibly muster to get up and to get back down in time.
Yeah.
And Al did plan for a 10-hour trip. He planned for us to be
And we made it back
5 hours up, yep, and 5 hours back.
So we're gonna rest a little bit here. We got a shuttle driver coming at 5. So this effectively ends the hiking part of the video. So we had the hike we had the trip before the trip.
Right?
Then we had the trip, which was the hike, and now we're gonna have a couple days post-trip. This will be the trip after the trip in Millinocket.
It's called recuperation.
Yeah. So we gotta.
I don't know how much road burning we're going to do, but we're definitely going to have to recuperate.
We've got a hostel in Millinocket. We're gonna stay there for 2 nights. We're gonna mess around Millinocket a little bit, but we're gonna eat some town food.
I can't wait.
I don't even know what I want to eat first. I just want to eat it all. So let's get packed up. Let's get in the shuttle and let's get a shower. We haven't had a shower in 10 days.
Yeah, isn't that incredible? I mean, we
10
can't
days
even
without a shower.
smell ourselves
Yeah.
anymore. We're just so rank. We just can't even pick up that odor. But I'm sure other people can.
Yes. Did you hear that little girl?
Oh yeah, yeah.
We passed this lady and this little girl on the trail, and the little girl's like, "Mommy, those people stink." So yeah, I'm sure we do. 10 days without a shower is
It's going to be a long ride.
It's a new record for
It's going
me.
to be a long ride for Lloyd to Millinocket.
Yeah. He's gonna have 5 stinky
Oh
guys.
my gosh, I feel so bad.
All right, well, let's get us a little rest up before we hop in that shuttle.
All right,
It's been a great hike.
brother, I wouldn't have done it with anybody else but you to do this. And I got to tell you, Al planned a great trip, and he was not giving up on going to Katahdin. He kept pushing that. And that last day that we had to get to Herd,
Yeah.
that was, I think, Al's most outstanding performance, was to get us there so we would be back on schedule and able to do this trip to completion.
Yeah.
So thank you,
So
Al.
we got set behind with some weather problems
and some physical
and some physical
problems.
some mental problems.
Can you guess which one?
I had 2 mental breakdowns. Carl fell 8 times. I fell 5.
Oh my gosh, I'm beat up.
So yeah, this was hard. This is the hardest hike I've ever done in my life. But I'm glad I did it.
I want to say that the boys went up with us, and Justin stuck with us going up and coming back, and he went at a much slower pace because David and Jonah were through way before we got back in time. But that was nice.
Yeah, it was
to be able to spend some time
fun hiking up with
the
Justin.
scout from our past.
Former scout.
Yep.
Good
To be able
scout.
to do that. He is such a good kid.
Yeah. He threw his body down to.
He threw his body down. I was going down this slanted downhill, just slick as could be with rain, and I lost my footing. I had no grip, and I came sliding down, and Justin threw his body down for me to land on it to kind of cushion my fall. And I looked over at him. I said, "You sure squeeze easy, purty man." And then peanut butter came out of his nose, but it didn't smell like peanut butter.
You did have some blood, didn't you?
Yeah, I got
Tore up his finger.
tore up my finger on my 8th fall.
So, all right. So we're gonna end the hiking part of this video and head on into Millinocket, get us a shower, and get some town food.
Okay,
Ready to go?
I'm ready, brother.
Hike over. This is the hostel we'll be staying at for the next day. The hostel has private rooms, and it also has a bunkhouse for 8, which is in the back right there. Coming into the hostel, we walk down a small hallway and we have the kitchen. And in the kitchen, got a table and a toaster oven and a microwave and a small refrigerator, and these are complimentary snacks for everybody that stays here. Carl and I are in room number 1 with 2 twin beds. And then in here, there's a community living room. Bathroom right there. And there's another bedroom. And outside here, you got a little yard. That's the bunkhouse. That sleeps 8, I believe. Then there's the laundry facilities here. And then there's 2 more bathrooms and 2 more showers. So this is downtown Millinocket. It's very old, very historic. We ate at that Angelo's Pizza last night. Immediately after the trail, we took showers and came up here and chowed down a big pizza. We're gonna get breakfast this morning at the Appalachian Trail Cafe. What you got, Carl?
I got top poutine.
Top poutine, French toast, eggs, tater tots. Poutine. Spider, what you got?
Oh, the Millinocket special.
All right,
Knife edge omelet.
All right,
Also the Millinocket special.
very good. This is the other hostel in Millinocket. This is the Appalachian Trail Lodge. This is actually owned by Poet and Hippie Chick owned Shaw's in Monson, and this is Hippie Chick's parents that own this hostel. Place is huge.
Scoot again.
Scoot again. Carl's got a cheeseburger. Steak. What do you got?
Scallop roll.
Scallop roll.
Clam roll.
Clam roll.
Beers.
They got no food. All right, we were back at the Appalachian Trail Cafe for our farewell to Millinocket breakfast.
Good morning.
Carl's got French toast and bacon, and then I've got a breakfast burrito.
Yum, yum. Gotcha.
It's just a chemical that
Ian was like, I thought it was going to be like really.
So we got a shuttle to a gas station, and we're getting on this bus for a ride down to Bangor.
All right.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Birthday to you. Here you go. It was just started.
So we're landing in Charlotte with Hurricane Ian just hitting South Carolina. The pilots
They're shaking them.
Yeah, the pilot came on and said that the landing would be a little uncomfortable, but completely safe. How do you feel about that?
Boy, what a spin. thing's shaking us up like a cocktail shaker. He said it would be what?
We're landing in 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts,
Yeah,
but completely safe.
yeah. While we're in the air.
Hey, we just climbed Katahdin. Surely we can handle this.
Yeah, but it's not the plummet that kills you. It's that hard sudden stop at the end.
So just as we get to Charlotte, this is what we come home to.
It was just a little bit lower than it needs to be.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.